Hey, this is Spencer from Little Kids Rock. Today I am breaking down Pray For Me by The Weeknd and Kendrick Lamar.
I'm always ready for a war again.
So there are a lot of really cool electronic sounds in this song, and I'm going to show you how to achieve some of those sounds using the instruments in the software on Soundtrap.com. Open up a web browser, go to Soundtrap.com. Once we are in the Soundtrap studio, we can find an instrument track by clicking the new track button and then picking whatever instrument we want to. So let's start with, say, a keyboard track, where we're going to find a synth. Now it's going to sound okay through the computer speakers, but it's going to sound really good if you plug it into a PA or an amplifier. If you're using an amplifier, I recommend using a bass amplifier because that is designed to get those low frequencies that come from the bass synths and the electronic drums. So you just take a 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch cable, plug the 1/8 inch section into the headphone jack in the computer, and the 1/4 inch into the amplifier or PA. You can use the musical typing feature, but you can connect your computer to an actual keyboard so you can play all those sounds on an actual keyboard. And to do that, you're going to need what's called a USB MIDI driver cable. Plug the USB end into the computer, and then the MIDI driver cable into the back of the keyboard. Turn the keyboard on, and the program will automatically detect the MIDI instrument, and I can play those sounds on my keyboard. So a great way to approach picking sounds for this song is just to listen to it and try and find a sound for each new sound you hear in the song, just as if you were, say, listening to something recorded with acoustic instruments. Open up the different instruments by clicking this button here, and we want to go into the basses. Now we're going to want a synth bass for this song, and I found a really awesome synth bass that sounds a ton like the beginning of the song called Gritty Bass. And the song starts off with that. Then the drums and another bass part come in. So let's add a new track, and we're going to want some drums. We're going to want to play the instrument instead of the patterns, and we can play those drums using our keyboard. And we can simply just go through and then there's this other bass part that comes in. So let's add another new track. Let's try another synth part, and let's go to those synth basses and see what we can find. I recommend trying these different basses out in different octaves as well, because the timbres change a little bit depending on what register on the keyboard you're playing in. Ooh, that one was kind of cool. All right, that was pretty good. Let's try that out. Now, there's some synth sounds that come in the second half of the verse, so let's look for some of those in what's called the pads section. These are generally really good for chords. You can also adjust these synth sounds by messing with these dials here. A great way to learn what each of these dials does is to simply play a note and then turn a dial and see how the sound is affected. You can also change instruments mid-song by having multiple instruments set in the project. So click on the instrument you want to play. Say we start with this one. And then we switch to the drums. A great way to find these sounds later is to name the project after the song that you are playing, and then when you open up the project again, all those sounds that you found earlier are going to be there for you to perform with. So I think you and your students are going to have a lot of fun exploring these sounds and finding the ones that match the music that you want to play.